So today, guys, we're installing a cold air intake on my Ram because it clearly does not have enough horsepower. So I got myself a K&N cold air intake. It is guaranteed horsepower and torque. So we're gonna install it on the 5.7 liter Hemi and we'll get this shit in there so we get more horsepower. So first we gotta take off this 8mm clamp right here. So we're just gonna zip this off at the impact. Got that all loose. We're gonna pop this plug off right here. This is for the intake temperature sensor. Then you got your vacuum hose right here. You're just gonna push down on that, pop that off. That will loosen up this right here. And you're gonna come over here. And you should just be able to jimmy this up, just like that there. Intake is out in less than what? 15, 20 seconds. So now we're gonna get the parts ready and we're gonna install the rest of the cold air intake. All right, we're gonna open this up and check out what they all got in the box. Bunch of useless paper. Then you got your nice shiny matte, whatever, intake tube. Got the intake box. Couple extra parts. Installation instructions, we don't need those. Rubber boot. And then I think in here we got the actual filter. Then you got your cold air intake filter in here. All right, so before we install the tub for the intake, we gotta rob these rubber grommets off of here. So these should just like pop right out, hopefully. All right, there we go. We got 1, 2, and I believe there's one more. Oh, there's 2 more. One right here and there. And then you'll reuse these rubber grommets on this here, and then we'll pop them right in. Just gonna pop these ones in here, and then you got 2 more right here. Just gonna push them right in, they slide right in. Got that one in, and then we got that one in. Now this will be ready to pop back into the other grommets on the intake, and that's all you need. No bolting it down or anything, just rubber grommets. All right, so we have to reuse this. This is not a MAF sensor, not a mass airflow sensor. This is a intake temperature sensor. So you're just gonna rotate it counterclockwise, and then you're just gonna wiggle it out, and then we'll be reusing this in the new intake tube. All right, so in the kit, you'll get this rubber grommet, and you'll put it right in here, and then that is where this sensor will go. So we'll get this pushed right in there. It might be a little bit difficult. Hopefully it goes in nice. Get everything seated right. So we got a nice rubber grommet in there now. Then you're gonna take your intake temperature sensor, you're gonna remove this O-ring here, pop that O-ring off, and then you're just gonna seat this sensor. Hopefully it goes in there nice. All right, so now we got the temperature sensor seated in there. And then in the kit, they got an adapter plug for your vacuum hose. And this just threads right in there with a 3/4 inch wrench. So we're just gonna set this in there finger tight, but they lube the shit out of it. So my hands are all fucking lubey. All right, so I don't have the correct size wrench, but we're just gonna use some channel locks and we're gonna tighten this down. And you're not gonna go all the way down with it. You're just gonna get it down till you get a nice snug seating. Because if you go any farther, you're just gonna cross thread because this is brass inside of here. So now we're gonna start assembling the intake. All right, so earlier you saw we put these rubber grommets in there. Now we're just gonna set this in there. So you wanna make sure you get this square right here over your existing OEM intake tube. And you're just gonna set these on there. You're gonna push them on there, just push it down. All right, so you got it secured now. Next, we're gonna plop the intake in there, and this is just gonna sit right in there, nice and snug, not going anywhere. Then you're gonna take the rubber boot that it comes with, put the rubber boot, get it seated around the lip, and they come with new bands. You got 2 new bands here. All right, so we got one of the bands on. We're just gonna tighten it down. Couple ugga-duggas and I'll be fine. And then we're just gonna test fit this on there. So this is just gonna push right into here. So we're gonna slide this ring underneath. All right, now I got both rings underneath. Now I'm gonna try and seat this coupling onto the throttle body, hopefully, as long as it plays nice. All right, so just plop the coupling on there just like that. Make sure this one's nice and seated. All right, so now we're gonna tighten this clamp down that secures the intake tube to the filter so you don't have any leaks. right, got that tight on there. All right, so now we're just gonna pop this vacuum hose back on. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but just push it on. Hear the click, it's secure. Then this is your intake temperature sensor. Just gonna pop that plug back in. Now we're gonna secure the last clamp on the throttle body. All right, so that's basically how you install the next gen cold air intake by K&N. Very simple, probably takes like, what, 15 minutes. Super easy install and very simple. Looks good. Now we're gonna turn it on and see what it sounds like. Fuck, dude, I'm oily as shit. All right, this is the next day after getting the intake installed. So we're gonna do a startup and I'm gonna leave the microphone right here to see if we get any different sounds out of the engine. All right, right now we're gonna do a small pull and I have a microphone in the engine bay, so we'll see what this sounds like. All right, so my opinion on this is it's an all right intake. It was $400 on Amazon. I had a bunch of Amazon points, so I really only paid $150 out of my own pocket. So I'm not, if it was not that case, I probably would return it because I was hoping for a little bit more engine noise in the cabin, and I don't really hear it as much. I'm getting like a little bit. For $400, I don't justify it. Performance, I do feel it is a little bit smoother. Maybe a hint, like a little bit of extra horsepower, real world horsepower while you're driving. I don't know what a dyno would say, but on the road, it's only a little bit in my opinion. It just feels a little bit smoother. I did notice that when I let off the gas and I'm coasting, my vehicle doesn't slow down as fast anymore. It coasts a little bit longer, like resistance, if you would say. But overall, I'd say it's an okay intake. $400, not really worth it.